Do not buy new construction.
New construction home buyers regret their purchase.
Please do not buy new construction in today's market.
I regret buying my new build flat.
They put these homes up fast and cheap. They offered an incentive they usually do on the new construction to pay majority of the closing costs, which is the reason why I went for it. 2, maybe 3 years in, house already has a major plumbing problem. I take a shower one day, then come downstairs, water everywhere. I'm like, damn, what's going on? Like, I ain't leave the sink running or nothing like that. The dishwasher ain't flooded. What's going on? The washing machine ain't flooded. What's going on? So I'm looking around, scratching my head, and then I look up.
And you seen the subscribe button. These videos take a lot of time throughout the day, and I really appreciate it if you subscribe. But let's see what happened when he looked up.
I see a huge water stain in the roof. So I'm tall enough. I take my finger, poke right through it. Water, 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 just dripping. I'm like, damn, what the hell? I had 3 plumbers come to diagnose the problem. 3. Every last one of them came in there and said, who built this house? They said D.R. Horton. They said, let me show you something. The first one said, let me show you something. He said, you see these pipes right here? Put the little flashlight. See these pipes right here? Terrible. All this material, cheap. He said, you would have had to redo this, all this sooner or later. I said, okay. Thank you, sir. Next one. The next one had worked on a couple houses in the neighborhood, and as soon as he came in the house and he looked at the hole in that kitchen, he said, I don't even need to go up there. He said, I already know what the problem is. I said, what you mean? He said, your neighbors I've done 3 houses. They all had the same problem. Third one come in. The reason why I get the third one is because it's my dad's guy that he uses. So I was like, I should just use him for the jump. But he come in there, he put the little flashlight. He said, yep, these pipes is trash, and I already know what the problem is. Do not buy new construction. They are putting these houses up fast and cheap. You're looking especially if it's your first home, you're gonna look at it and see a nice home. Oh, 3 bedroom, 3 bath, 2-car garage, nice yard space. Oh my God, look at the neighborhood, honey. Let's get it. And you're gonna get in that house and you will start having major structural problems, plumbing problems, roofing problems, all that. Septic tank problems. You're gonna start having all these problems. They are putting these houses up fast and cheap. Fast and cheap is the name of the game. Fast and cheap. Beware. The best thing to do will be to build your house from the ground up. Be right there when they break ground and watch them go through the whole process. Don't go the cheap route. You will pay for it in the long run. These companies, and I'm putting D.R. Horton on blast because they're the ones that I bought my first home from. These companies are sparing every expense to put these houses up, using the cheapest materials and using unlicensed, unskilled labor to get these houses put up. I know in Georgia it's real bad here, but these companies are putting these houses up everywhere across America, fast and cheap. Do not buy new construction. I wouldn't even buy from D.R. Horton to be specific, but there are other companies that do the same thing, to put up fast and cheap. Do your research. I will specifically warn y'all about D.R. Horton. Do not buy a home from D.R. Horton, and do not buy, new construction.
So D.R. Horton, I think I heard about y'all, man. You buy a home from D.R. Horton, you're gonna need a D.R. for your house, a doctor. Yeah, that don't make no doggone sense, man. He putting his finger in the water coming out, man. What the hell going on in this establishment, man? And it's something with these new construction houses with stuff coming out the ceiling. You would not believe what is coming out of the ceiling of the next latest clip.
I was told that after 12 months in a new construction home that I would not have these separation and nail pop and issues. My home is literally going on 2 years old. I bought it after it was made. It had sat here for 6 months, and then I purchased it. So we're almost at a 2-year mark that this house, and nail pops are still happening. Let me show you. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is just one side of my sitting room. Then we have 5, 6, 7, and that's just my bedroom. Okay, let's go look at my bathroom. Mind you, 90% of these are ones they've already came and fixed, and then they've dropped down again. Literally the ones I've already had them fix, patch, redo. Like there's literally a mark here where he had to repaint it. I don't know what number we're on, but there's another one. There's some separation and another one. Oh wait, there's another one. Boop. That's not including my closet, which I'm not going into. And then we've got the hallway. Let me show you. First off, if you can't tell, this goes up like this. Like, what the fuck? And then, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on, there's more. 5, 6, 7. And that's just in my upstairs hallway. Shall we check Weston's room? Let's do that. 1, 2, 3. And part of me telling you about this is just documenting this shit because I'm so pissed off, but I need you to see how bad it is. This is Weston's bathroom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just in his bathroom. There are none in the laundry room, thank goodness, but in this room and this room, there are 6 in each of those rooms. Let's go downstairs, shall we? Gotta love this. Let's look at the biggest problem I have downstairs. It's my fireplace. Ready? Nail pop. Nail pop. Nail pop.
Nail pop.
Nail pop.
Nail pop.
Nail pop. Nail pops. Oh wait, let's go up here. Nail pop. Nail pop. Nail pop. Nail pop. Nail pop. Let's go around this side. 2 nail pops. Nail pop. Nail pop. Oh wait, let's go up here. Why are they popping out here? There shouldn't be nails right here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not to mention the complete separation that's going on. And underneath here. It's absolutely insane. I'm furious. I have tried to contact Meritage Homes for months now to get them to, I'm trying to charge my phone, to get them to replace it. And I haven't heard from anybody. I literally have not heard from anybody. And I just messaged them in the portal last night because, oh wait, nail pop in my living room. My cabinets are falling apart. Like, and this, I've had a problem with this house since I bought it. So they forced me to make a 5-star review because they said that they were not going to put up a safety rail on my porch unless I did it. So I did. I very much want to take that back. I very much want to take that back. Do not buy a Meritage home. They are made like shit. They have zero accountability. And their turnover is so high that you can't get a project manager to come out here and do their fucking job. Do not buy a Meritage home. Thanks.
She counting them nail pops like that 11-12 song. And I know y'all know about that because I check my analytics. Yeah, I know y'all know about it. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's neither here nor there. This next clip is a guy who is enthusiastic. He gonna tell you all the reasons why you should not buy a new construction home. You would not want to miss it.
Buying a house is a trap. Actually, buying a new construction home is a trap, and I'm gonna explain to you guys exactly what I mean. Right now, if you're looking for new construction homes, you're probably gonna find different builders offering a lot of money for incentives, and some of these incentives can run into the $10,000, $20,000 range. You're gonna find builders get paid closing costs, so they'll take care of the closing costs, and then on top of it, they'll give you an interest rate that you couldn't get anywhere else. Like, I know there are some builders offering like even a 4% interest rate, or maybe they'll do like a 2-1 buy down kind of thing where you get an interest rate at 2 percentage points below what it is right now. But here's one thing that they never tell you, or that they actually never do, and that is they never reduce the price of the home, and that is with good reason. And this is why it needs to be a huge red flag if you're buying new construction. So one of the reasons why builders never drop the prices of a home is because once they drop the price of an existing home, they kind of almost have to drop the price for all of the other homes that they're building right now. So they'd rather give you a bunch of money for your closing costs and keep the price of the home elevated. So for example, if you buy a $400,000 new construction home and the builder is giving you, say, $30,000, but only if you use their mortgage company, because that's the other thing, is that home builders, they strong arm you into using their mortgage companies. And there's a reason for that. It's because they're also making money out of them giving you the loan. So even though they tell you that they're gonna give you all of this money, in reality, they're not really giving you anything, because the mortgage company is eating out of this whole thing as well. And a lot of times I see their own mortgage companies overcharge on what they charge you for origination by almost the same amount of money that they're giving you for the closing costs. So like in reality, you're not really gaining absolutely anything. And the worst thing is, and the one thing that you guys need to understand, is that if the home is not worth what you're paying for it, you're basically starting underwater on the property, which basically means that the home is not worth what you're paying for. You owe more than what it's worth. And this is something that real estate agents, mortgage people, the builder is never going to tell you. So before you guys get offered all of these things, look at the entire market overall. A lot of times it's just way better to buy a resale and do a rehab, and this way you guys are going to be able to gain equity, especially if you do like rehab work into an existing property in a good neighborhood. So anyways, if you guys got any questions, I've been doing mortgages for over 15 years. Buy whatever you want, but just don't buy it just because you think that buying new construction is the best deal, because a lot of times it really isn't.
Yup, tell them, man, tell them. Elevated prices, somebody else is going through the same thing. But he gonna give you a secret way to avoid that. Look at this.
One of my clients came to us for a second opinion because their mortgage payment went from only $3,200 a month all the way up to $5,400, and they have no idea why. They didn't refinance, they didn't miss a payment, and their interest rate stayed the same. So what happened? The problem was escrow, because when they bought their new home, it was a new construction. But unfortunately, the taxes they were shown at closing were estimated on the land only and not with the house built on it, which means their escrow account was way too low. So after a year, even though they've been making their payments, when the county came out to reassess the property and there was a house sitting on the land now, their taxes spiked hard, because now the lender is playing catch up, and not only do they have to cover the new higher taxes moving forward, they also have to come up with all the taxes they didn't pay over the last year. So just like that, $28,000 owed, and that's the reason why their payment went up by $2,400 a month. But the craziest part is, this is actually something that happens a lot because no one explains this stuff, and the process is almost confusing on purpose. So I'm going to show you what you could do to protect yourself. First, before you close, make sure you ask, can I get a full escrow breakdown? And is my taxes and insurance based on the land only or based on the finished home? Second, you're going to reach out to your local tax assessor's office and ask to file for something called homestead exemption, and could save you hundreds to even thousands of dollars each year if you qualify. Lastly, and it's stupid that it works this way because no one explains this up front, and you don't usually learn it until you're deep into the home buying process, but you also need to set aside 3 to 6 months worth of taxes and insurance for the home at closing. So for an easy number, on a $500,000 house with an average tax rate of 1.25%, that's $4,000 to $6,000. So your savings plan shouldn't just cover the closing costs and the down payment, but you also need to factor in escrow setup, especially with a new construction.
Good info, man. Good info. Good info. This next clip, you would not believe what this I can't even talk. You will not believe what this new construction home did to this young lady, man. New mother, man. She don't deserve this. What they did to her, you gonna have to watch. Look.
Never did we think that our dream home would actually turn into the house of our nightmares. Before closing on our house, I was very adamant about having our own inspection so that we could make sure that this house was right for us. Upon receiving our inspection, we saw that there were a couple of issues with this house. One of them being that there was high humidity in this house. When bringing all of this information to our builder, they assured us that they would send the adequate technicians out and that they would fix everything. They did supply us with updates. So as naive as we might have been because we were so young when we bought this house, we believed that everything was right. You know, their answer was that there was high humidity in this house because when constructing it, builders, the builders or the workers that were building the house often left the doors open. And since we do reside in Texas, Alvin especially, there is high humidity. So we took it as an answer that everything would be okay in the end. Ultimately, things were not okay in the end. Fast forward to about 18 months of us after buying the house, we are now experiencing really high humidity levels up in the 80s and the 90s. We have had to have purchased multiple dehumidifiers, resulting in hundreds and hundreds of dollars. We honestly didn't understand what was going on, so we ended up hiring a technician to come check out our HVAC unit. When this technician did come, what he told us was, honestly, I'm going to be truthful. I'm not going to touch your unit. I don't want to touch anything. I would like for you to reach out to your builders because you should have warranty. Now, my professional opinion is that this unit is way too small for your house. So we did just that. We contacted our builder, which is Centex, and we did go ahead and file a claim through their portal. After about a day or two, we were reached out to and we had basically like a Zoom conference meeting where we showed everything that was going on, where our indoor HVAC unit was completely leaking. There was, mold everywhere. There was mildew everywhere. There was a lot of humidity going on and we just didn't know what was going on. Not even 24 hours later, a representative from Centex was sent over to come and inspect our house. In the midst of all of this happening, one day we woke up and we noticed that our microwave was completely full of humidity. And I mean dripping. The condensation was literally insane. While the Centex representative was in our house, he did take pictures and videos of everything. He documented everything. We told him everything we had been experiencing and everything we had been noticing. And he did clearly state that there was high humidity in this house and that there was a very pungent smell of mold mildew, which was the next thing that we were starting to notice. Out of nowhere, we started smelling very much like earthy, musty, like there was a mildew smell. Where it was coming from, we didn't know. We could not see anything to the naked eye. We just didn't understand what was going on. I forgot to mention, but by the time that the Centex representative came, our microwave that was full of humidity was at this point completely full with mold. And I mean literally filled with mold, which caused us to be more worried. We just didn't know what was going on. And then I started putting two and two together. I was thinking, our AC unit, which is leaking, there's obviously a humidity issue, and our microwave that is directly above an oven has an overhead vent. What if that has anything to correlate? What if there's something wrong with the ducts? What if there's something wrong with our HVAC unit? I mean, clearly there was, but I'm no specialist, so I just didn't understand what was going on. So we answered any and all questions that this representative had for us. He didn't really give us much information. He said that he would be in touch, that he would be sending out technicians. He didn't really say that we did anything wrong. We just explained everything that was going on. And while the technicians that he programmed to come out did take a while and did reschedule a couple times, finally they were coming to our house. Now we had a roofer inspector or a technician, we had plumbing, and then we had HVAC. The roofer told us that everything on the roof was perfect. There was no issues. There was no leak that he could see. There was no wear and tear or anything that was actually wrong with the roof. So that seemed to be okay. And the next person to show up was the HVAC technician. Now, while I'm not pleasant with the experience that we had with him because he was very hostile from the front, we couldn't really communicate with him. He was not really giving us any information. He was not really giving us any guidance until I honestly started, just questioning him because there was no way that I was not going to know what was happening with my house. So I started asking him for advice. I started asking him if there was anything we did wrong, if there was anything he could tell us. And really, he was just very hostile. He kept trying to point fingers at us and saying that it was our fault. He kept trying to say that the dehumidifiers that we have purchased is the reason why our house was feeling so hot, which is extremely false because we have been having the dehumidifiers for about a month before anybody came out and it was not hot. The only reason our house was hot within the last 3 days of the technician coming out was because the humidity was reaching about 90%. Clearly, our unit was not being able to keep up with whatever was going on with our house. I also asked him that Whenever we were closing on our house, the only instruction that they told us was make sure you change your vents and make sure you flush your PVC drainage line for like the condensation to go out. And I told them, how do you do that? How do you flush it? And they said, well, people do bleach and people do vinegar. Please don't do bleach. I don't recommend that because a lot of people do bleach and that can cause actual damage to the PVC pipes. And I said, okay, I'll do vinegar, which is what we had always done. Mind you, I also did ask this technician that was sent out by Sensex. I said, this was said to us at closing. This is what we did. Did we do right? And he said, yes, you can opt for bleach or you can opt for vinegar. Vinegar is perfectly fine. But no matter the times that we flushed, and we had flushed it right before the representative was sent out, nothing was going down. The drainage line was completely clogged. He ended up informing us, this is the only information that he gave us, was that we have like a vent in our attic that opens up every hour to basically bring fresh air in so that the air circulates. And he said that that was set to be open 42 minutes of every hour of every single day. So in my head, I start thinking, if this has been like this since closing, because nobody has touched it, nobody has been up there, we're talking about 42 minutes of every single hour of every day for almost 2 years, for 20 months. Can you imagine the humidity that has been coming into my house? That is why it can't keep up. That is why we're experiencing high humidity. And he told us that he had set it down to 6 minutes. And instantly, we started seeing the thermostat go down from the high 80s down to 70s, down to 60s. Whenever he left, I want to say it was in the 60s. And unfortunately, not even an hour later, everything started to climb again. 60s, 70s, 80s, reaching the very high 80s. So we were left with no other choice but to turn the dehumidifiers back on because there was no way we were going to let the house be that humid.
That don't make no doggone sense, man. Giving that lady to run around, man. I got her family turning on humidifiers, man. It's crazy. Look, stuff like that got people walking away from home ownership altogether. And if you guys want to see something like that and see why they're walking away from home ownership, make sure you guys click this video right here. Again, it's been Josh from Talk to Him Boy, and I just talked to you, boy. I'm out.